Good morning. All the way from Potts Camp, Mississippi. Or better than that, Bethlehem. Oh, I have a good feeling that today is going to be a good day. Thanks for joining us. Good morning, family. I'd like to welcome TikTok. Thank you, TikTok. They TikTok me off. And when they TikTok me off, they TikTok me off. I have no reason why anybody would, say, nope, no more of you, none. You got a 6-day break. I don't understand it. But today on Rock Recovery and Revelation, it's day 2, folks. We've done it. Day 1 is out, over, and behind us. Day 2, yesterday we spoke about the win. Excuse me, vitamin C. I used to do shots in the morning. I still do shots in the morning. Here's one shot I did. I'm going to get the rest of it out of the bottle. And I'm going to act like a rock star like it tastes so good. I eat cocaine for breakfast. That's vitamin C, folks. Vitamin C. You grow up. Sooner or later, if you live long enough, you grow up. This right here is cell performance. Me and my wife are extremely healthy. Well, we focus on what matters. And the cells, what are you made of? Billions of little cells. And if your cells are whacked out, then of course you're going to be whacked out. So cellular health is important, and that's one of the only, really, things that we do I take supplementation for things that are helping my mental state. I'm on helping me get my hormones back to the right, letting that redox molecule get inside the body where it can do its job. That's 30 seconds. I got 2 more of these to do. Enjoy this song from Bello. This is One of the Reasons Why. It's called Agony from 1999. Cannot sleep, cannot sleep, cannot sleep, cannot sleep. Yeah, that's Bellow from, let's see, wrote that in 99, 2000, and that's what Buried Man Fest is all about. So the question yesterday was when, today is why. So when the vision came to me, we discussed that yesterday. When the vision came to me, let's say again, I had a dream back in the early 90s of Soldier Field and me doing a concert there. And then again, I had it in, not 1900s. We're in the 2000s. It was 2000 and 2020, right during COVID. I had this vision, and it popped back up. But what I saw was an NFL football player on my YouTube channel, introducing what we were doing and inviting people to this festival. So what the festival is all about, this is the why. This song called Agony, I wrote it, like I said, in the late 90s. And what it's discussing in the lyrics is that I was in agony. It's what I feel. It's what's real. What I was dealing with internally got me in so much trouble as I got older. Back in these days, I expressed myself in lyric, and I got on stage and I tore it up. I mean, people used to come up to me that didn't, old people, if they ended up coming to a place where our show was and they heard it from outside, they would come in and watch it from a distance. I've had all kinds of folks come up to me and enjoyed our show. And what they always said was, are you in theater? Is this, because it looks so real what you're doing up there. Like I'm feeling every word. So I let it out on stage. I'm excited to do this again. The why is not so that Bello would get back together. That's not the why. But because of Buried Man Fest, Bello will be getting back together. And I'm so excited about that. Huh? Is everybody happy? Yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm not a young man anymore. So imagine all the energy I used to put out on stage. Doing it again at my age, boy, it's going to be a blast. I can't wait, to tell you the truth. I've been getting in shape for it for about 6 months already. How can you tell? Agony, when you're dealing with head trauma and you're alone, there's nothing like it. There is absolutely nothing you can compare it to. Having brain damage and you being on your own with the knowledge of this brain damage is the heaviest, darkest place anybody could ever imagine being. You can't describe it. You can't articulate it. You can't ask for help. So Domestic Violence Month that's this month, and I've been doing my best to stay focused on the message pertaining to domestic violence, because traumatic brain injuries and domestic violence are kind of married to each other. And I remember, like, the most important part of what Buried Man Fest is going to do is going to let loved ones, because not a lot of brain damaged folks can come and see a concert and listen to all the noise and the lights and all the people and all that. It's just not going to work out too well for some folks. But the loved ones, the kids, the youth that's at a university, we're hoping to land it at Ole Miss. What the purpose behind getting all of them together? It's going to be free for veterans. Veterans get in free, and hopefully, if they bring someone, they can have a friend come in with them, and their friend will pay. Hopefully that's what will happen. But I don't care if it's 10,000 vets come in and no one else. What we're wanting to do is educate the people that are living with brain damaged folks and don't even realize it. You hear the word TBI and people think you've got to have some kind of concussion or been knocked out or cracked your skull open or you have to have traumatic brain injury. It can be just sloshing your head playing the guitar, slinging your head back and forth and it tearing the neurons and causing chaos. And then all of a sudden you got cytokines in a mosh pit, man. And it got a chemical warfare going up in your brain. So the purpose behind it is to educate loved ones. Let me tell you something what happened to me. When I met Fru, she was my community. She was my buried man fest, all right? She brought me up out dirt. I was a goner. And all she did was introduce me to something new, which was, I understand you have a brain damage and that's what's causing you to act a certain way. And she didn't excuse my actions, but there was a reason for my actions. So when I moved from one community to the next, we learned that I burned. The reason why I had to move about every 3 years in my younger years was because I would lose my following. People don't want to be around somebody that's a loose cannon. You never know when whoa, someone just got hurt again. No one wants that around them. And even if you love somebody, you can't deal with that because you don't want to get hurt. You don't want someone else to get hurt. So a lot of times people like me get left completely alone. And I had been left alone for quite some time. I had been on the streets for about 2.5 years. I finally had pulled my bootstraps up a little bit in Denver, and that's why I went out there, because I felt like God said, go, boy, and get close to the top of that mountain as you can, and I'll see you. And so I had been like in the dark, no voice of God, no dreams, no experience with him in almost 10 years since my car accident. And he started speaking to me and coming to me through while I was demented. So when I wasn't lucid and I was blacked out, I began seeing dreams and seeing visions again, and I would come to speaking in tongues. I've come to walking down the streets of Panama City Beach, Florida, and praying for folks, laying hands on them, and they're getting healed. And it went on for days. And then I'd be blacked out again, and I wouldn't know where I come to, and I just killed myself. And I was still alive. It was amazing. It was the craziest journey anyone could ever imagine being on. The best way I can describe dementia is what I'm doing right now. The only other way I can describe it is through the movie that I'm putting together, which is documented tons of stuff. I've just kept I videoed over and over. I wish that Facebook wouldn't have deleted all the live stuff, because I've been doing my best to like go back and save it. And man, it's hard to watch me like that. So I haven't been able to edit it because it's just difficult to watch. But I have saved a lot of stuff. Facebook didn't get rid of everything before I got some of it. But it's in there on Facebook Live. If you go back there, I don't know if you can see this stuff. I did take a lot of pictures. I did write a lot. So there's a lot of journaling and things on Facebook over the last 10 years. Since 2008, I started 2009. The end of 2008, the beginning of 2009 is when I got my Facebook account. But the biggest thing Fru did for me was she accepted me. She acknowledged that there was something wrong without making me feel like a lunatic. She was entertained by I take whatever's going on and I turn it into something good, no matter what. I'm lighthearted. I make jokes about stuff that are really heavy. And she's just got the right personality that was able to receive it, accept it. And it's timing. God had pressed her to do this. And she's reading her cards, and the cards are telling her to do this, and the cards are telling her to do that, and God's telling her to do this, and God's telling her to do that. Then you turn on the radio, and the radio tells you to do this, and then a bird comes along. The bird said to do this. I mean, we were on the confirmation highway. As every red flag that she had was going up, she was batting them down. So that was my community. And I believe that what we can share at Buried Man Fest is the information that could help someone else go back home and see their uncle or their brother or their husband or their wife, their mom, somebody in their life that's a loved one that has been written off, that has been just a pain in the butt to everybody. And now they're going to see them in a different way. We're not just playing music at Buried Man Fest. There's going to be great music, national acts that come in and play for us. This is an annual thing that's going to grow and get momentum and be really huge. I'm going to be filming the whole thing. I'm also making a reality series up to Buried Man Fest, that's just video and all the meetings and the people that come to our life and how we get all that going. It's all been documented. So that's going to be a really interesting video to watch at some point. And once the wheels get rolling on this thing, you got to imagine a tour like Ozfest or Lollapalooza, except that this one is totally geared for the good. It's going to stop suicide, and it's going to focus on raising awareness for CTE and changing things in our culture that need to be changed, because CTE is 100% preventable. It is preventable, and we can stop it. And right now we're not. Right now we're ignoring a lot of things. So after this Buried Man Fest really gets going, I believe the why will show up. You will see it, because it's going to change our community. So Fru became my community, and once she did, and once she understood, and once she gave love to me and attention to what I needed, my parents fell right in line behind her. My brothers and sisters, my church family, everybody. That doesn't mean my life got completely easier and I stopped having these fits of rage or not. No, it did not mean that at all. If that could just fix it, then there wouldn't be a real issue with it. So what happens after the acceptance and the knowledge, we went through 2 different communities, and each community dealt with me differently. And then the first 2, everybody's doing their best to do what they can to help me. But not everyone knows how, and not everyone has the same amount of patience, and not everyone has the same mindset. And I was growing each time I went from one community to the next. The great thing is I recorded it all. So we get to go back in the movie that I'm making, The Man Who Couldn't Kill Himself, is going to show communities what to do and what not to do by example. You'll get to see what this did to me and what that did to me, what this, all the improvement that can be made will be shown on the film as an example. And the amount of things that I'm doing. Can you just think about this for a second? When I got to the community I'm at now, Bethlehem, Mississippi, it's a miracle that I ended up here. It's a miracle out in the middle of the woods. Seriously, 7 miles from the nearest community that has 400 people in it. There's not even a stoplight or a blinking signal or nothing in a little town that's closest to me. And then we're at 7 more miles out into the woods. And then all of a sudden, there's this building that seats 1,200 people. There's a building next to it that seats around 600 or 700, completely cram-packed. And that's like amazing theatrical setting. They're churches, okay? My grandpa started this thing. He took it from Brother Pipkin way back in the late 40s. And then he raised 10 kids here, my mom being one of them, and pastored this church, and then handed it down to my uncle, Steve Wilson, who's now Bishop Wilson. And then, lo and behold, the guy pastoring it now was at one time going to be my brother-in-law. We were engaged to twins out of Chicago. And both of us we weren't real close because he was a traveling evangelist, and I was a lunatic already. I had head injuries already. And to hear some of the stories from Pastor V, we call Pastor V, Jonathan Vasquez, it's really cool to hear. But what he told me when I got here, it hit home. I stuck with me, and I've never forgotten it. It's when I was crying. I was explaining what happened in an incident that we were discussing, and I was just up to here where I'm screaming, so upset because I'm getting nowhere. Nobody's listening. No one gets it. And he looked at me and said, "David, it's not an excuse. You're not giving an excuse. You're giving a reason." And that was what I was flipping out about. It's like, I'm not excusing the behavior. If this wasn't real, I'd be able to maintain looking and acting normal when certain people came into my room. Okay? I treat my mother-in-law, my mom, my wife, my dad. If the President of the United States walked in the room, I wouldn't suddenly be like, okay, I'm not brain damaged anymore. Brain damage is brain damage. And what people do not get, well, I know this for a fact. My community is getting it. This is because the head of that community gets it. You know what he doesn't understand? What he doesn't understand, he hugs me and says, I wish I could tell you something, but I don't understand it. So there's nothing I can say about this, but I'll hug you, That is huge, very huge. So the why of Buried Man Fest is to educate folks like what we've done here. Fru is my educator. She's been I could say and scream it, write a book, put it in a movie, all that, and get some of it. But Fru gets all of you. Thanks, Fru. I really appreciate it. That's what we're going to be doing, is giving a chance, giving people like me a chance, a voice. And Buried Man Fest is to unbury those who are basically dead, because you don't know who it is that is brain damaged and what they're capable of and what you're just missing out on. I mean, look at what's coming with this festival and what it's going to turn into. You may not see anything right now, but boys and girls, this is going to be huge. We're giving away a heritage Softail. I mean, a classic, beautiful bike. And we're giving that away to the first. Get a chance if you're the first 1,000 ticket buyers of Buried Man Fest. You're going to get your name put in a raffle. And at that festival, we're going to be giving away that bike I keep showing on video and pictures. Now, if that ain't exciting, I don't know what else is. Who in here would love to ride a Harley? Do me a favor. In the comments, put the little rock and roll sign up. And tell me where you're watching from. And let me see. I know I had it in here, what I was supposed to tell you guys to do. Oh, there you go. Give me a little rock and roll sign and tell me if you believe or not that music can heal. Because music, from the very beginning, you look back in the best-selling book of all times, the Bible. And David and his minions. I mean, the family members that brought out making the first instruments and utilizing it for worship and a way to articulate praise and gratification to God. This stuff, music is powerful. Do you know where Lucifer came from? Does anybody know where Lucifer came from? He came from heaven. He was in the room right there where God sat, and his orchestra, his vocal cords are made of tambourines. When he talks, vibrato is a whole different thing, my friends. And when he got kicked out of heaven, guess who replaced him? You and I. The chiefest position. And we can take it over. That's why the devil hates us so much. That's why he's after us so much. He's jealous as all get out. He's ticked off they got fired and replaced by a bunch of idiots in sim suits that get so confused by him. Anyway, let's not start preaching. We'll leave that to the preachers. I hear something rumbling outside. Did you guys hear it in the microphone? Wow, that's loud. What day is it? Friday. Garbage! I forgot to put the garbage out. Garbage! I hear the garbage truck out there. So I played you a Bellows song called Agony. We're at 20 minutes. I'm supposed to go 20 or 25. So the Buried Man Fest, the big why is so that those of you out there that feel buried can rise again. I want to bring you up out of that dead place you're at. And first of all, I want your family and your loved ones to be at the show because we're going to have incredible speakers, doctors that will give you hope. Dr. Mark Gordon, I haven't talked to any of these folks yet, but I'm going to tell you something about me. If I say something's going to happen, it's only because I know it. I'm not being cocky. Cocky is people that talk about things that they don't know anything about with confidence. That's not me. I am confident, not cocky, that I will have Dr. Mark Gordon speak at this place. I'm not confident that I have Dr. Amen, but because Dr. Amen isn't my doctor. But through the workings of God and my connections with the NFL players and Paul Frees and to name him, I was introduced to Dr. DeMeo, and Dr. DeMeo is my doctor who works together with Dr. Gordon in their protocol, and I've been on it now 5 months. I'm very excited that Dr. DeMeo is going to be on the show pretty soon to explain everything there is to know about me scientifically, biologically. There you go. Biologically. We're going to have there's an explanation. It's not an excuse. It's a reason. And by the time you get you and your friends and your family, if you don't make it to Buried Man Fest, it'll be filmed and you'll be able to watch it. And it's going to be a really cool event. First and foremost, it's all put together to stop suicide. That's the major why. 22 vets a day, they say, has killed themselves for over 12 years. When they went back and did this study, what they didn't include was overdoses. And I'm going to tell you, friends, every single time that I attempted to kill myself, even the time that I hung myself, I overdosed. Every single time. And that's the one thing that they cut out. They didn't count. So the numbers are way off this 22 a day, but 22 a day alone is too much. These are our men and women who give their life for our country, for our freedoms, and they have no hope and no help, and they have no community sticking their hand out to help them and understand them. And all it took was a woman from another country, another culture, who never met me in her life to make me feel like living again. And why? Because she loved me. She hugged me. She showed compassion to me. She held my hand and looked me in the eyes and had tears in her eyes. When I was confused and didn't know what was going on, she didn't know me, and I didn't know her. But she looked at me in the eyes, and because of the pain and the confusion I was in, the fear of death that was on her before she found me at this point. There was a story about this where I had a seizure. She barely knew me for a few days. And after I got out of the hospital from this, all the drugs, I told her not to put me on any kind of benzodiazepines because I have previous history where when I stopped taking it, I have a seizure. And anybody that's on Xanax or any of those benzobarbiturates, watch it. Don't just stop taking those drugs without weaning off very slowly because you can have, and the doctors don't tell you this. I was on Xanax for probably 12, 13 years, and a little small dose. And when I stopped taking it, I had a grand mal seizure. And so I did this on 2 occasions. Not at this point. I'd only had it on 1 occasion. So everywhere I went, I tell them, don't give me none of that stuff. Don't give me none of that stuff. Well, in the hospital, because I'm so, I'm wired up, man. God just saved my life again. And I just met this wonderful woman who's helping me and believing in me. And what happened to my screen? You guys can't see me. I'm watching on Restream, and it looks like the picture's gone. Let me see something. Well, I'm signing off anyway. So I hope you can see me. Let me pull up just to see what's going on. Look how sidetracked I just got. Man, I was on a roll. I was explaining something big. I already forgot what I was explaining. So don't even think about it. No, you can see me. That's so weird. You guys are restream. You need a kick in the tail. So Fru understood just one thing. She showed me compassion. I didn't know what was going on. Oh, the seizure. So I had fallen. I was about probably 5 or 6 days out of the hospital, and I started feeling really weird and really off. And I told my mom that morning. I told Fru, and it was early in the morning. I was just sitting at the breakfast table on a bar stool, and boom, fell over, broke my shoulder. Like I needed another thing to mess with. This arm I couldn't move. That fell over and broke the shoulder. So I'm stuck like this again. And when I got to, I was completely gone. I had no amnesia, goners, and no memory of anything. And so when they let me out of the hospital, I had no one to come after me. And I got an ambulance to take me there. But luckily, the guy that I was living with and renting a room from had Fru's number, and he called her and said, I'm at the hospital. And when she called the hospital, they said I was no longer with them. And that's all the information she gave. So she thought I died. And so she's speeding across the Denver, trying to get there, thinking in her mind, I'm dead. She's getting ready to find out that she's got a dead friend. And when she gets in there, goes in the building, I'm sitting in the waiting room, just staring off, or eyes closed. I was blacked out. I don't remember any of it. And I remember them letting me in and letting me out, but I didn't know what was going on. I have no clue. And what's the worst feeling in the world? That. Being confused. Have you ever been knocked out when you come to, you don't know what's going on, and then people around you looking at you and talking to you, and you have no clue. That's what this is like. And I've had it over and over and over happen to me. Well, when I come to, I heard my name, Davi, and I opened my eyes, and there's this woman in front of me with tears in her eyes, and so happy to see me, and it changed my life forever. That one moment, I fell in love with her. That one moment, she was my rock. That one moment, it's like she didn't mean to. It's kind of like that, that little duck that breaks out of the egg, and the first animal that comes up to is its mom, so it runs around with it, follows it around everywhere. That's what Fru was like to me. And so that's the buried man fest from what we're doing. You're buried. You're out of it. You're out of this world. There's no hope. Your life is upside down. You're contemplating suicide, and here you go. Right here, you come to a concert. They explain who you are, what you're dealing with. You get to hear it from the top doctors in the world. You get to speak to and see your favorite athlete. We're going to have NFL players and soccer players and rugby players, hockey players. Your favorite skulls, the ones that bang each other around, you cheer them on, they're just going to be there. So it's going to be an incredible event, and we're all coming together for something good, which is also a really cool thing. And in a united force, we're going to stop this and stop suicide in our country. And I know this is a big deal and far-fetched for people to say, but 5 years ago, this whole thing that's coming together right now, and we've got the NFL player that I saw, we've got more than that. We've got a whole team of top-class athletes from the UK already. So it's going, like I said from the beginning, it's going to be a tour that goes everywhere. And all over the globe, across the pond. We're going to have from university to university. And so you can be a part of Buried Man Fest. The very first one is going to be historical. You're going to be here, and it's going to be in this little town of Oxford, Mississippi. And I'd love for you to be part of it. Please get in the comments. Give me some of these and tell me where you're watching from. Tell me if you believe against that music can heal you. Also, look in the comments or in my description, you will see a link to go onto our boards page where you can sign up on our mailing list. And that way you don't miss out. The very first 1,000 tickets are going to go like this. And they're $100, and you're going to get a chance to win a 1989 Heritage Sawtail. Now, if this message spoke to you, please do this. Share it. And then follow Rock Recovery and Revelation, whether you're watching on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, wherever it is you're watching this, follow me, please. And let's stay connected. We're not just making music, we're saving lives. Stay